Hello, everyone. My name is Crystal Myers-Barber. Today is June the 28th, 2025, and I have an incredible guest with me today. We are taking back our land one city at a time, and I have someone that's running for sheriff in Los Angeles. His name is Oscar Martinez, and he's running against a sheriff his name is Luna. And I want to show you, I found him on TikTok, and that is actually how I was able to find him. And so I was watching videos like this. So let me show you exactly this video that I found here. Sorry, hopefully I can find it.
Streets have turned into chaos because ICE was doing its job in our communities. And the question is being asked and needs to be asked. Why is ICE here in California, out there in our communities, arresting people? Let's be clear. ICE is not going around randomly picking people up at your Home Depots or any other parking lots. These are targeted operations against criminal illegal aliens. Individuals wanted for such things like human trafficking, child exploitation, sex trafficking, narcotic sales, and so forth. These are not minor offenders. These are dangerous individuals who should have never been released back into the public from our county jails. So why are they being released? Because of California's sanctuary law, SB 54. Sheriffs across the state are prohibited from working with ICE inside our county jails. That means that even if someone is wanted by the federal authorities for serious crimes via a detainer, we are not allowed to notify ICE or transfer custody. Instead, we are forced to release these individuals back into the very community they victimized. ICE doesn't want to be in our neighborhoods. They are forced to be there because the state of California refuses to let them do their jobs inside our jail system, where it is safe and controlled. I understand the media is causing a lot of fear. I understand, as an immigrant and Hispanic myself, just going to the store right now can feel scary. But let me tell you, if you're a legal resident or a citizen of Hispanic origin, you have nothing to worry about. Again, ICE is not out there looking for you abuelas, your tío, your primo, or the paleteros. These are targeted operations for criminal illegal aliens, the ones who victimize our communities, the ones SB 54 claims to protect. Since the beginning of my campaign, I have said it very clearly. SB 54 does not protect immigrants or illegal immigrants. It protects criminals. And I will do something about it as your sheriff. I will strongly advocate to amend SB 54 to allow our sheriffs to work within the county jails with ICE. Period. When we do this, we can ensure that criminals are transferred directly to federal custody in a controlled environment without disrupting our neighborhoods or putting our deputies and communities at risk. This is not about politics. It's about public safety. It's about protecting every family in Los Angeles County, regardless of background. As a combat Marine, a law enforcement officer, a father, a husband, I will never support a policy that puts our communities in harm's way. We need leadership that has the courage to say the truth and to fix what's broken. I am Oscar Martinez, and I'm running for Sheriff of Los Angeles County.
All right. Well, hey, everyone. Thank you for that incredible video. I want all of my guests to meet this bold sheriff right now, running for office, that is.
Mhm.
And this is Oscar. I want to thank you for being on. And I'm so thankful you have a TikTok account because this is where I found you. But
Yes.
I support anyone who wants to bring law and order into our cities. And Los Angeles is so lost right now. So I just want to thank you for running against the current sheriff.
Of
there.
course, absolutely, absolutely. And I thank you so much for having me here. It means a lot to me. I was my team was kind of they were not too sure about TikTok, but like, you know what, we got to try this TikTok thing. This is where you're gonna find the community. This is where pretty much 35 and under get their news, the number one source of news in America. So I can see this paying off, and I'm glad, especially that video that you just show, the amount of likes and comments that I received, people just yearning for that community safety, for government to finally do its job. It was amazing. It was good to see, and it definitely gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah, I mean, ICE has been called in by our president, and it is so necessary. I even had some video pulled up because I know everybody saw the chaos that was going on, that began around I think it was the 6th of June earlier
Correct.
this month. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's just so chaotic, and it didn't seem like they wanted ICE to even come along and help. And so, what are your feelings on this? It's
Well,
crazy.
first of all, yes, Trump ordered them to come here, but we need to understand one thing. It was our local elected officials who made this happen from the very beginning. This process starting on January 1st, 2018. That's when SB 54 took effect. Then State Senator De Leon authored the bill, and it was fastly approved and signed by Governor Newsom. And it was a bill against Donald Trump, and it was painted to the people as something to protect the immigrant community from the federal government. Like I said in that video, SB 54 does not protect immigrants. It does not even protect illegal immigrants. It protects criminals. Because what we used to do before, when I was a young deputy in the jails, someone did their time for committing a state crime in California, and we would turn them over to ICE if they qualified, which means you were an illegal immigrant that committed a crime, and not an immigrant who committed a felony and needs to be deported because you committed that felony, therefore you lost your right to be a resident of this country. So our communities were protected. What do we do now? Instead of giving them to ICE so they can be removed, we release them back to the community. The very same community that SB 54 is claiming to protect. Because when we release them, and I'm speaking here specifically for LA County, when we release them from our jails, they don't go to Beverly Hills. They don't go to Ranchos Palos Verdes. They don't go to the Orange County area. They go right back to Lincoln Heights, Boyle Heights, East LA, and they terrorize the very community that SB 54 is claiming to protect. So when we lost the ability to work with ICE inside the jails, we gave the federal government no choice but to go into the community and start conducting these raids.
I tell you what, Governor Newsom was elected that year. I did not vote for him, but I really fought against SB 54. I was on the front lines going to these city halls, and I remember one specific officer they were showing. Chad, I just can't remember his name.
Mhm.
He'd been shot, and they kind of formulated the whole thing around this what it was doing. And so I'm very aware. And now look at us today. Look at all the
Yes.
chaos. And and I told you I was going to bring this up. The current sheriff. This is a jump from SB 54, which I don't know what we're going to do. Can you help overturn that, or is that something that we have
Well,
to?
I cannot. The sheriffs are elected constitutional officers. They do not enact laws. So
Okay.
the sheriff does have to follow the laws, state laws, and federal law. However, the sheriffs of all 50 states have a strong lobbying group in Sacramento that helps shape most of our laws in public safety. Hasn't been very successful in the last few years, as we've seen, but the fight's still going on. I mean, look at Sheriff Chad Bianco. The man is a legend. He's still out there fighting for our public safety. So we can advocate, and obviously we can ask and endorse the right candidates to become a state assemblyman, state senators, and hopefully, the state governor here pretty soon, and to change some of those laws. We talk a lot about the supermajority in Sacramento. Keep in mind, they only need to lose 7 seats. If they lose 7 seats, that is, independents or Republicans take 7 seats from the Senate or the
Mhm,
Assembly, I should say, the
mhm.
supermajority is gone. It's going to force them to compromise. So these are the kind of things that the sheriff can do. The sheriff does not make law. The sheriff enforces the law.
Oh, okay. Well, we were not happy when we saw the social media post. I tried to have it pulled up. Not sure if I can add it or not, but the current sheriff, Luna, he gave his condolences to the Iranian community, which I know they want regime change as well. They retracted it, and this was after Trump's nuclear takedown. So people were. I have friends that live there that can vote for you, and
I appreciate it. Thank you.
oh yeah, sure. And that's why I want this to be seen today. But I basically saw the disgust and felt it as well. That this is not your views. They wrote it up. The LA County Sheriff Department that does not hold all of your views. And
No, 100%. And like I put a video as well after that.
I think I saw
That
it.
message does not reflect the hardworking deputy sheriffs, the hardworking professional staff working for the LA County Sheriff's Office. I want to make that very clear.
Mhm.
And did he take it back? Well, yes and no. Keep in mind, if you look at the history of sheriffs, every time the sheriff puts out a message, at the bottom of the message is always the name and the signature of that sheriff.
Oh,
In the half apology that he gave, I challenge you to find me the name of Robert Luna,
I didn't see it.
which because it's not there.
Not
It
there.
goes to show this man never takes responsibility. It's
Oh,
always somebody else's fault. And he never points with one finger. He points multiple ways because he never knows who to blame, but he knows it's somebody else's fault. A leader needs to take responsibility. If I was your sheriff, the success goes to the deputy sheriffs working hard. The failures are my fault. I need to take responsibility for that as a leader. So I understand you said he apologized, but I'm not sure if that's really an apology. That's more, a CYA, as we say in the sheriff's department.
it just, I see this as just we need to vote for righteous leaders. We need to clean house. You mentioned the Bianco he's running for governor, I think,
Yes.
Chad. And, I know some others. There's actually there's some candidates that are rising up, which is incredible. There's even a pastor of a big church out in Pasadena that's
Okay.
running, and his name is Cheon. But it's just nice to see righteous people stepping up into these roles. So, and I think one thing we need to do is what I'm trying to do here today, and I'm streaming live on Facebook right now, on my X account, and on YouTube. But we also are going to put this on multiple platforms. So thanks for
Awesome.
watching the replay, everyone.
Yes.
So that we can get this out. We want everybody to know that people care about saving the city of Los Angeles, because as Los Angeles goes, it just seems to flow throughout all the states.
100%.
And
At least California, that's for sure.
my question is, it's so dangerous though. Why would you do this? To me,
Mm.
it's such a dangerous job.
Hey, listen, I survived Afghanistan. I survived Iraq. I think I can survive this election. I'm not sure if I'm going to survive the tantrums of my 5-year-old daughter, but I think I can survive this election and whatever they bring at me, show that people vote me as their sheriff. But here's why, to be honest with you. My entire adult life has been a life of service where I try to serve my country, and I did serve my country's 8 years. And then for the last 15 years, I've been serving the communities here in LA County. And I strongly believe that this is the chance that we have right now in our country to
Mhm.
take back our government. Donald
Thank
Trump is not the answer. Donald Trump opened the door, and now we have to go and take on that message. And
Yes.
even if you voted against Trump, let's say you don't like Trump, one thing you cannot deny: the man stood up to the system and he won, and he is winning. So
Mhm.
that's something you have to admire. I could have sat back, wait for my next promotion, keep my mouth shut, but I couldn't see anymore how my deputies are suffering within the department, and then the residents, the citizens of Los Angeles County are suffering as well. Because keep in mind that when police officers are not proactive, the community is the one that suffer. When our police officers are not proactive out there enforcing not only the calls for service that they get called to, but also being proactive to take care of bad guys that they see, that's called proactive policing. That's what we need to keep our community safe. Right now, we don't have that in the sheriff's department because our deputies are scared. They're scared that if they do the right thing, this sheriff is going to sacrifice them in the altar of political correctness. And that's just no way to live. For me, at least, as a person who, you know what, I can take the chance. Let me do my best. Let me see what I can do for our fellow officers and as well for our communities.
Wow. Let's see if I can show some of the chaos. And just in case people missed it, I don't know if they did. We'll just bring this over here and show what was going on, in your city that you want to take on and be sheriff. Ask. So basically, we had some situation out here, even in Orange County where I am, and the cars are just showing up in parking lots, and they have, bad language, you know, ICE, and
Yes.
the whole political thing with Palestine and stuff. So this is just really showing up everywhere. So it would be so nice if everybody could work together and get rid of these criminals, the people that would be so bold to drive around. And when I say that for ICE, I figured they just mean everybody, the police officers, sheriffs. They just have no fear. They're willing to drive around and just have that message. It just basically seems to me like they just are just running free.
Well, and again, this goes back to SB 54 and the lack of courage from elected officials to understand the difference between legal immigration and illegal immigration. You keep hearing, especially from the LA Times, that this is horrible for immigration. This
Yeah.
is horrible, excuse me, for immigrants. Well, I'm an immigrant. I wasn't even born in this country. I have no fear because I keep myself informed. And that's my message to, any of you viewers that are immigrants. If you're here legally, you have nothing to worry about. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, if you're an illegal immigrant and you have not committed a crime and you did not fail to show to court and so forth, you really have nothing to worry about. These are targeted operations looking for people that committed crimes and or this is the big one that the LA Times and the media is forgetting to tell you, and or decided not show up to the hearings. So when you hear about these people getting arrested at Home Depot and so forth, these are not random arrests from the federal government. These are people that they've been looking for sometimes for the last 20 years that
Really?
have completely failed to show up to the hearings. I'm sorry, but if you're in this country, you need to follow the law. And if you follow the law and you follow the legal process, for the last 20 years, you could probably be already a legal resident, if not a full citizen by now. But
Wow.
you failed to ignore the law, and as a candidate for sheriff, I cannot support that whatsoever.
Yeah, because I am in these groups on Facebook, neighborhood of Santa Ana, neighborhood of Costa Mesa, Huntington Beach, and everybody's just putting out posts, and streets are looking icy. They're using these code words, but really, I thought first of all, there's impersonations going on.
Yes,
No,
they are. That is
and,
true.
and they just arrested somebody. I covered that yesterday. But there's that element. But then you have like you just said, they're going after people, and they already have arrest warrants and search warrants,
Or detainers. There's this other process called detainers that ICE holds. They're not what you consider your traditional judicial warrant, but detainer is pretty much, hey, we need to hold this person for a civil immigration hold. And I also want to clarify, yes, it's true. When they go to a location, everybody gets detained. And there may have been a person there that we're not looking for, but it's also an illegal alien. Well, that's their job. That's the job of ICE to enforce the law. So guess what? That person is going to go too. But again, they're not doing anything illegal. And if you believe that they're doing something illegal, we'll take them to court. Let the courts decide. That's how a civilized society is supposed to work.
yeah. So I get the feeling, and I think this is true. What I see, it looks like a lot of arrests are happening, and there's was catch and release. President talked about it. So is that still going on, the catch and release system?
And if for state, you mean like state crime, or you're talking about the federals?
I guess state here in our state in
The state
California.
we do. Look, to be honest with you, there's people that we arrest. I'm still working. I'm still active duty in the sheriff's department, so I know what our troops are going through right now.
That's
We,
terrible.
we may arrest somebody for fill in the blank felony yesterday at 3 in the morning, and right now they're getting ready to get out.
Uh,
Yes,
we
with a
we
citation.
we got to work on that. We got to elect a new governor, and we need to everybody needs to be involved. Everybody, listen. No matter where you're watching from, I have my friend watching from Santa Maria, California. Thanks for tuning in. And then my tech person just notified me there's 17 platforms. So hallelujah.
Yeah, that's good. But
Yeah.
if I may say something regarding election, because you mentioned we have to elect, I understand people like to hear and talk about Congress, the Senate, and the president, and even the governor. That's good. We need everything we need anything we can get in order to get the job done. But do not underestimate your local elections. Your
Okay.
sheriff's election, your city council election, your school board election, your water board elections. Those are the elections that have the most direct effect on the communities, on your family.
Mhm.
Keep this in mind. It was not the US Congress who shut us down during COVID. It was your local city council. It was your local board of supervisors for the county. It
Yeah.
was not the Department of Education, the federal Department of Education, who shut down your schools during COVID. It was your local school board. So let's keep those things in mind when it comes to voting. We spend a lot of resources and a lot of time talking about those big elections.
Mhm.
And this is why I'm running for sheriff, because our local elections are the ones who actually have direct effects on our daily lives. Congress can pass all the legislation they want right now about public safety and empowering police officers and so forth. But at the end of the day, it is your local sheriff and your local city council who is going to empower peace officers to carry out that message from the U.S. Congress. So I ask your listeners, your viewers, to keep that in mind, to pay attention, show up at the school board hearings, show up at your city council hearings, and make your voice heard.
Yeah, wow. And you do have a website. I did find this. That's very strong. I'm really glad you went over this because it seems it's so simple. It really is. And let me show everybody your website, and then we'll move. We're just going to move along here because I want people to know how to find you. It's if you put Oscar in for sheriff. I think that's
Yes.
how.
Oscar, the number four sheriff
Yeah,
dot
there.
com. Oscar, the number four sheriff.com. I
Yeah.
try to go for Oscar for sheriff, FOR, but somebody already bought that.
Oh, okay. Well,
But you know what? It's LA County so huge. If you put LA County Sheriff's Race, my name will come up in Google as well.
okay, and so there you are. And then on TikTok, is it just your full name to find you there as well?
TikTok has that strange ad. So I
That's
think
true.
yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head
Well,
right
no,
now, but
that's
I
fine.
think if you type Oscar for Sheriff on TikTok, it should come up as well.
Yeah, sure. But there it is. Yeah, Oscar, and then the number four sheriff, and that way everybody can see his
Thank
campaign.
you.
Yeah, sure. And this is in 2026. This
So
this
the
whole
election is June 2nd, 2026. That's all the elections.
okay.
LA County is a charter county, which means that the sheriff is elected with the governor and the district attorney is elected with the president. So next year, with the governor's election, it also will be the sheriff's election. The top two, just like the governor's race, the top two in June will go to the general election in November of next year.
Okay, people are asking what area he covers. What
LA
area?
County. So there's 58 counties in California. We have 58 sheriff. The sheriff is a constitutional officer, but at the same time a county officer. The jurisdiction, police power is statewide, but the jurisdiction as far as administrative matters is only within the county.
Okay, and how long have you been? They are asking a cop, but is it sheriff or cop? How long have you been in office?
I'm not in office. I don't have any elected office right now, but I did 8 years in the United States Marine Corps, and I have done 15 years in the LA County Sheriff's Department.
Okay. Oh, there you are. And people want to make sure that you come back on, of course.
Well, that's not up to me. That's up to you.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have you back on. I mean, time is really going fast, but we definitely need to get these people, righteous people. This is my goal, everybody. I'm going to put righteous people up that want to not just take back, but just bring law and order. I had to change my wording. We want law and order.
Yes.
Back in Los Angeles, and this is something that we're going to be electing a new governor at the very same time as the sheriff. Wow.
Correct.
There's
Correct.
just so much to know. So basically, is there anything else that I need to cover? Any other questions out there?
Well, we talked about SB 54. Like I've been telling anybody that's willing to listen to, the Supreme Court pretty much authorized the local, not authorized, excuse me. The Supreme Court corrected many of the state and local governments regarding CCWs. If you believe in the Second Amendment, I am a strong advocate of the Second Amendment. I believe in our Constitution, and part of the Constitution is the Second Amendment. I will ensure that if you qualify legally, you will get your CCW. Right now, the LA County Sheriff's Department, although it's the biggest sheriff's department in the nation, does not have an actual process for CCWs, and that's how has caused delays. There's people that have been waiting for 2 years for CCWs, and that's just not only ridiculous; it's unconstitutional. So I will make sure that we have a process, a full team dedicated to process all those applications. The second thing I want to talk about is, it's our veterans. As a veteran, I hold very dear the service that our veterans have given to our country. And I will make sure that our veterans are acknowledged within not only the LA County Sheriffs, but also going to promote for programs within the county to help our veterans, especially our homeless veterans. in moving up the ladder within the department and the county, and in just getting the resources that they deserve, that they have earned in serving our country.
Mm. I know that homeless is such a problem out there. I've tried to stay away from Skid Row, but if you go to the fashion, district, it was almost there now. It's like on top of each other.
Well, you
And
don't have to go to Skid Row to see homeless. They're everywhere
I
now.
know it's
Not where you're at. You're in Orange County. You're good. But as far as in LA County, they're everywhere. But I do want to specify something when it comes to homeless people and the homeless issue.
Mhm.
Homelessness is not just a law enforcement problem. I know we get calls a lot to deal with the homeless people, but it is actually a political problem. So yes, of course, I'm going to do my best to fight against homelessness, especially crimes committed by the homeless people. But understand that we can't just blame our police officers for the homeless issue. It is a political issue. Every police officer in the state of California can go right now and arrest every single homeless person. They're going to be out the next day.
Yeah.
We got to have a system in place to deal with this, and that's not the police power. That is the again, going back to your city council and your local board supervisors. They are the ones who got to have the program and the fiscal will to fight the homeless issue. I'm sure you've heard in LA County there's $2 billion that cannot be accounted for regardless of the homeless issue.
So true. I heard.
I don't like to say $2 billion disappeared. They didn't disappear.
Yeah.
Someone took those $2 billion, and thank God that our new U.S. attorney here in LA is looking into that issue.
Oh,
But that goes to show you that this problem is not a law enforcement public safety problem. It is a political problem that is going to require the entire local government infrastructure to properly fight it.
yeah. And see, one thing that people do, and I've made this mistake, I've called homeless people that are really strung out on drugs, which there's a transient, they have a name for them. They're not the same. And these are people that are getting fentanyl coming over the border, and there's lots of stuff like that. There's that gang activity and drug activity. So, like you said, it's political. It's a much bigger picture. So you
Yes.
can't just they just sweep it into one little category, and they shouldn't do it.
No, no, they usually show you the picture of the poor family that lost their house and they're homeless. Let me tell you something. We deal with these people on a daily basis, and the vast majority, I cannot scientifically prove this to you, but the vast majority, about 80%, is drug problems.
Yeah.
And just like SB 54, see, there's always a why, there's always a reason, there's always a beginning. Just like SB 54, that's because of Proposition 47 that was passed back in 2013. If you recall, it reduced a lot of felonies into misdemeanor, especially drug possession. Now, what used to happen before 2013? When we arrested someone for felony drug possession, the judge would give them two options. Either you go to jail or you get into some kind of rehab program. Was
Uh,
it successful? Absolutely not 100%. But there was some success, far better than we had after 2013. Whereas we literally give them a citation. We don't even take them to jail anymore. We give them a citation and then go right back to use the drugs that we're using. So again, if you look at the math, after 2013 is when the homeless issue really, really blew out of proportion. And that's because of Prop 47. Another very, very bad law that was passed by our local officials that have pretty much destroyed the standard of living in LA County.
yeah, there's three of them I remember, and they're all, like you said, fall on the local levels.
Correct.
We need to do that. So I have some questions. I know what can be done? Okay. Some people are asking if you're married and you have children. You've already
I
mentioned,
do.
but
I
you,
do. I am married. My wife is also in law enforcement. Her name is Tina.
oh,
And
wow.
then I have a 5-year-old daughter. She's 5, going to 15. And and I have my son who's 10 years old. Wonderful family. We live in the Santa Clarita Valley, and
Oh,
we love serving our community. We go to church every Sunday when we can. Obviously, I'm law enforcement, so I have to work a lot of Sundays, but the family goes. And we love serving, and my family's on board with this campaign. They understand. I would not be here today talking to you as a candidate if my wife would have said no, obviously.
right. I understand. That's amazing that she's in the field as well. Uh,
Yes.
One of my friends is watching. Her daughter she became a police officer.
Okay. Best of luck to her.
Yeah, and she's so young. So I just pray for her all the time. I'm always praying for protection. So much
Good.
going on with
Good.
these other um, see if there's other. Yeah, I mean, as far I know I'm shadow banned, so for some reason, if there's not a lot of viewers right now, I'm expecting this to go out and be seen. So don't worry,
Oh, I'm not worried about it. Listen,
somebody's making.
if it's only two people, then that's two people. We're getting the message across. I always tell people, remember the United States didn't start with 50 states. It started with 13 colonies, and it went up from there.
No, that's okay. I block people on X all the time, and I'll probably block. But
Well,
that,
I'm a candidate. I can't block people.
yeah, okay. Well, I can. Basically, what's happening is people don't realize it. They're just seeing it from where their platform is, and we're putting it across so many. But we're gonna, and because of my the friends out in Los Angeles, we're gonna get it to the right people that can actually make your vote matter. So that's what
I
matters.
appreciate it. And that's what matters right there. Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because people need to know about you. They need to know, who you are, what you stand for, and that you can, in the name of Jesus. And this is my view, my belief. I'm a Christian. That we can overcome this demonic force that seems to be eating up our land and taking over our land and everything. So we have lots of people praying, lots of people believing that God is greater, and
But there's again, like I said before, this is a time for change. If you remember Prop 36, it was passed in November of last year. Now Prop 36 is the proposition that tried to push back some of the stuff that was given to us by Prop 47, by combating the smash and grab issue head on, and by bringing back some felonies for a lot of drug possessions. Now Prop 36 passed in the state of California with over 70% of the registered voters. That's pretty much about 10 million people that voted yes on Prop 36. There are only 5 million conservatives, that is Republicans, in the state of California, which means 5 million Democrats, independents, or no party affiliation also voted to increase some of these penalties to a lot of these crimes. That goes to show that there's a movement. That goes to show that people want change. That goes to show you that with the proper motivation, the proper dedication, we can take back our government. We can bring back public safety, not only to LA County, but statewide as well.
Yeah, because all the people that are doing the looting and they could steal $9.50 a day, that's at 36 was trying to cancel some of that out, I think.
Correct. But right now, as of, anything can change by Monday, but as of now, the state government has not funded Prop 36. When Prop 36 was passed, there was no funding mechanism written within the proposition. So every year, the state legislature has to vote for it. They have not funded it yet. And of course, your sheriff did, propose to the legislature to fund it, Sheriff Bianco in Riverside. But here in LA County, we don't really have a real sheriff, so he's not saying anything about it.
Oh, goodness. Yes, it's a hot mess. So we just need some stuff to come into alignment so that these things can get better, because the looting and all that stuff that we saw and continue to see, not just in LA County, but out here in Orange County too, it's just ridiculous. And they look like they're getting away with it.
Well, I was looking at a video actually this morning from Santa Ana, and it looks pretty clean and safe there now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, except for that.
I didn't see anybody selling stuff on the streets. I mean, they were showing the videos of that right there in the middle of downtown Santa Ana. I was like, man, that's Santa Ana. There you go. Law and order. It's back.
Everybody's hiding. Yeah, I've been watching that. That's crazy. So
yes, ma'am.
Thank you, for saying that. That's the dynamic. You had the Santa Ana and then the federal building out in LA, and those two were a hot mess. And then for some reason, everybody it's vacant in Santa Ana.
Yes.
But yeah, just let's see if I have any other comments here. And okay, donations. Okay. I'm sure there's a place for people to make these donations on.
Absolutely. So if you go to the website right there at the very top, you see the big yellow button says donate. That's the first place you want to go on my website.
There it is.
There it is. Donate. You go there. You can make a one-time donation. You can also make monthly donation if you can. $20, $30, $50, whatever you can provide. It will go a long, long way. It is a county-wide election. LA County is huge, population-wise. LA County is bigger than 47 states. So any amount of donations that your viewers can provide will be greatly appreciated, so we can take back public safety in this county.
That'd be great. So yeah, and thoughts on the bail issue, the bail.
The bill.
BAIL. It's my southern accent, even though I'm here. When you're bailed out, people that are, I guess, going to jail and then they get bailed out.
They get bailed out. Yeah, we had the no cash bail issue and so forth in LA County. It has changed multiple times, probably since COVID. Obviously, during COVID, bail was like $1. Uh, Keep in mind that I'm all about keeping bad people in jails, but at the end of the day, bail is on the in the power of the courts, not the sheriff. Obviously, I will advocate for a strong bail schedule so that we can keep bad people, especially those who commit crimes against their families, such as domestic violence. I want to keep them in jail as long as possible to protect our families and our communities. But at the end of the day, the sheriff does not set the bail schedule. That's set by the judges in accordance as well with the legislature.
Okay, great answer. Any other questions? Anybody? So I can, because we're probably going to wrap this up. Oh, someone is saying thank you, Oscar. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She actually,
I'm doing my best, but it's going to take all of us. At the end of the day, like I said before, with your donation, and if you live in LA County, if you can volunteer, and even more so, June of next year to vote. But don't wait till June.
okay,
Here in LA County, just like in Orange County, statewide, in the beginning of March, excuse me, the beginning of March
March.
is when the ballots are going to start going out. All the mail-in ballots. If you're registered to vote, you're going to get a mail-in ballot. Do not wait until the end. Here's a little tip for your viewers.
Okay.
If you submit your ballot right away, you will stop getting all those annoying political calls. The
Okay,
mo-
that's great.
yeah, the moment your ballot is checked at your local registrar, we follow that stuff, all the PACs, all the local candidates, we follow that stuff. And the moment your ballot is scanned in, all right, on to the next person. You're going to stop getting all those annoying phone calls and all that mail in your mailbox. So vote, obviously, for me if you can, and submit your ballot as
Yeah.
soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to do, everybody, is we're going to have Oscar back on, Oscar for Sheriff back on, and .com. We're going to have him back on. Please go find him on TikTok and the other platforms. I'm sure you're in some other places as
I'm
well.
all of them. I mean Twitter, X. Instagram,
Okay.
LinkedIn, TikTok. Like you said, I'm there. Facebook, I'm there. YouTube, I'm there. I'm
Okay.
doing everything I can to get the message across. But I definitely need your help in order to get that done.
Someone's asking if you have yard signs and posters. I'm not sure if you have
We
that.
have posters. You probably won't see yard signs until we get closer to the election. A lot
Right.
of HOAs don't allow you to put them up, so I didn't want people to get in trouble. So I'm standing by on the yard sign, but they cost money, so that's why we need your donations. But we're gonna have them for sure, absolutely, starting early next year. But we do have signs that you can put on your windows and so forth if you're legally able to do so.
Good. And Kimberly writes, it is time for a change. We so agree. My goodness, we agree.
Thank
And
you.
you can donate, by the way, no matter where you are. If you just stand
You,
for righteousness,
You have to, well, you have to be in the United States. No foreign donations. You have to have a U.S. address.
oh,
If not, we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to receive those donations. I'm not Gavin Newsom. I don't take money from China.
exactly. Okay. That's funny. Oh my gosh. I wasn't even thinking other countries, but the truth is everybody can watch no matter where you're. That's where we are in social media.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
we're clearing that up. Keeping
Yes, ma'am.
all the law there in order.
Yep.
Let's see if there's any more questions. And then someone was asking, do you have events? I mean, you probably will.
I do. No, I already did. If you look at my Instagram, I not a week goes by. I don't talk to this community, that community. Just this week on Wednesday, I went to right here, La Cañada, and I had a great meeting there with some folks from the Glendale Burbank area. Tonight, I have an event here in Santa Clarita, and then tomorrow, we're gonna have a July 4th kickoff event at Freedom's Way Church in Santa Clarita, where I'll be the key speaker, talking about how great this country is and the liberty that we enjoy. So I'm out there. I'm still working full time. I'm still a full time husband and full time father. And but this we need to do this. We need to do this because I look at my two children. I look at my 10-year-old son, my 5-year-old daughter, and I said, I want to give them a country better than what that we have right now. And I think it can be done. Don't give up. Don't leave. Don't move. Fight for your home. This is our home. This whole thing of if you don't like it, leave. I disagree with that. California is our home. Don't forget, this is the state that gave the world Ronald Reagan. There's a lot of things we can do when we put our minds together. In the last election, only 40% of Republicans voted in LA County. That's not acceptable. Let's try to get obviously 100% is the goal, but if we can get at least 70%, that means a lot, and it will change. It would change a lot of our elections.
Oh, that's so hopeful. I love how you just stated that. I so agree. And I think we do need to stay here and fight. We need to stay on this ground. So many people just give up and try to move somewhere else. I
Yeah,
so agree. That's a strong point. That's so amazing.
absolutely. Fight, fight. Don't give up. This is our home, and believe it or not, your vote means a lot. I know a lot of people are very skeptical about our electoral process, but it can be done. Look in 2016 and 2024. It can be done if you go out and you vote and you support those candidates, like you said, that are righteous.
Yes, amen. That's great. Amen. That is so awesome. Well, this is a strong ending, everyone. I just want to thank everybody who's tuning in right now that's going to watch a replay. Please make sure to share this so that this message can be seen. We want people to know California is strong. We're not liberal. I always say this all the time. We want change, and this is the beginning. And we're going to vote people in that are willing to put law and order back in the state of California, and specifically Los Angeles, where we have Oscar running today.
Yes.
So anyway, God bless you, and God bless America, and
God bless America.
and thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back soon.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.